Now, American President Joe Biden is, of course, facing a lot of criticism over America's chaotic and humiliating withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, the American president, however, has defended the process and also the decisions that were made by him, saying that perhaps there was simply no other way for the United States to have exited from Afghanistan after having fought there for nearly 20 years. Now, the president made the comments while he was at Shanksville in Pennsylvania, paying tributes to the victims of the fourth plane that crashed into a field, and it was stopped from reaching its reportedly intended target that was thought to be the U.S. Capitol building in Washington.
I know, look, we didn't start off this way. If you had told anybody that we were going to spend $300 million a day for 20 years to try to unite the country after we got bin Laden, after Al-Qaeda was wiped out there, can Al-Qaeda come back? Yeah, but guess what? It's already back other places. What's the strategy? Every place where Al-Qaeda is, we're going to invade and have troops stay there? Come on. Anyway, so I just think that, and again, what people are, as I read it, I'm told, 70% of American people think it was time to get out of Afghanistan, spending all that money. But the flip of it is, they didn't like the way we got out. But it's hard to explain to anybody, how else could you get out?
Biden's last stop of the day was at the Pentagon, where he touched a memorial wreath at the site. A series of benches have been erected representing each of the 184 victims. He was accompanied by First Lady Jill Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and also the Second Gentleman, Doug Emhoff. The 20th anniversary of the attacks was especially poignant this time round, coming as it did just shortly after the Americans ended their 20-year-long escapade in Afghanistan. And this, remember, was of course started by the then American President George W. Bush, who immediately rushed in and declared a war on terror, claiming that he would root out Al-Qaeda, the terror group that was responsible for the 9/11 attacks. Now, the messy evacuation of Kabul, which included the deaths of over 200 Afghans and 13 American soldiers due to a suicide bomber, has now unleashed a lot of criticism on the incumbent President Joe Biden. The former President Donald Trump has in fact described the evacuation as a complete disgrace in terms of how it was conducted.
Was a disgrace. There was no reason. We had them totally locked down. They couldn't have done a thing. We could have stayed there for 10 years if we wanted. They couldn't have done a damn thing. We ran. I think he wanted to run because he wanted to look good today. And I wanted that ended more than anybody, and for a longer period of time. We should have never been there, frankly. We should have never gotten into that quicksand. Trillions of dollars, millions of lives if you look at both sides. But when you get out, you have to get out with honor, dignity, strength, and victory. We would have had victory. And he turned victory into a total embarrassment. I say the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
All right, so that's how the former President Donald Trump is describing the hasty withdrawal by the Americans as the most embarrassing moment in American history. Now, the Taliban's blitz takeover has also raised some serious questions about the future of Afghanistan, especially of its women and also its children, prompting many to in fact question as to what really did the Americans achieve after having fought in Afghanistan against the Taliban for 20 long years. And also our correspondent Chris Kekio has been tracking the story very closely for us and has sent us this report from the United States. Take a look.
President Biden and First Lady arrived at the National Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville in the early afternoon to take part in a wreath laying at the wall that bears the names of those lost. In a much more informal setting, Biden then made an unscheduled visit to the Shanksville Volunteer Fire Department to deliver Bud Light beer, where he thanked first responders who were there for the plane crash on September 11, 2001. Finally, President Biden wraps his day at the Pentagon with a wreath-laying ceremony to honor the 184 people who died here. Biden was a U.S. Senator 20 years ago when the attacks happened. Now, as president, he's overseeing what many believe is the symbolic end to the 9/11 era, a 20-year period that saw the U.S. invade Afghanistan and Iraq in what was described as a global war on terror. This was the first 9/11 anniversary without U.S. troops in Afghanistan. For WION World is One, Chris Casquejo, VOA News, the Pentagon.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.